Today I want to talk about a new kind of thing. I saw like a new website that could help you train with like peaking and stuff. It's called Rankasy or whatever. It's kind of like, just like any other uh, type of CS site where they give you like performance stuff and they can help you with whatever matches. You can make highlights and stuff like that or whatever. This isn't a sponsored video, but I just wanted to get into this practice mode, which I haven't really seen too much of, and it's to do with peaking. The site works off of coins. I don't really like. You can do challenges and stuff or whatever, and then you can get coins. So to use on stuff like highlights and stuff or whatever. But anyway, just the thing about this site with its peak training, it feels really different to other things I've seen. I've used like aim rush before, where you can have like 5 bots rushing at you and you're just kind of like peeking at them, or sometimes they peek into you, or I use pre-fire modes a lot to work on crosshair placement and just peeking in general. But when I saw Rankasy, I thought it was pretty different. I just hadn't seen it before. Maybe there's other ones out there, but essentially you wait for somebody to peek into you, and then you take the fight. It gives a little countdown, do a little thing, and then you just adjust your aim according. So the thing I really like about it is that I've noticed with my training on this is that it helps with 2 different aspects of aim. The first aspect is like switching to angles fast, like flicking more purposefully. I think it's really made me more conscious of like where I need to be looking, because if the first few times I've done this on hard mode, which we're on right now, is like I'm aiming here and then one comes from out on long, and so I have to go from short to long really quick, and I have to be purposeful with it. Another thing is my counter strafing. It's helped me like snap. I don't know how to say exactly. It's helped me to just, like I said, be more purposeful as well with my counter strafing. I'll try and demonstrate real quick. Like it forces me to get into position a lot faster, because because this is on hard mode. It's so much more faster. So any movement that's wasted, like you can't afford to waste any movement at all, because you're just gonna not be able to go to the next area because there's just multiple areas. But then the third thing it's taught me is how to kind of mix in both of those things together. One of the most common aim routines is to just go on CS stats, and I counter strafe, and then I make sure my crosshair's on the head, and then I shoot, right? So we're working on counter strafing, we're working on aiming and recognition to when the crosshair is on the head, right? And so when you repeat that over and over and you go faster, then you obviously you get better at it, and it becomes more of a locked-in muscle memory. And then what I've noticed when doing this peak mode is that it helps me do that, but it helps me do that in a more realistic situation when I'm playing in a match, because these are the angles that I'd have to deal with. Oof. Bad spray. Okay, I'm just gonna try and focus real quick and do this one, and then hopefully it'll go to the next. Hopefully I can get it. Yeah, there we go. See, like, I don't know, I'm very jittery sometimes, and I think what this training does is it helps you, it forces you to react, and it forces you to have good counter strafing and good crosshair placement and good aim all at the same time. And this one is pretty cool because they'll peak differently too. So let me just see if I can show you real quick. Yeah, he did a crouch peek there. He did the same thing. I don't know. He did a jump peek. Like, see, those are pretty cool. That was really easy. I know in one of my, or I should say, I know in the last video I made when I was talking about crosshairs, I know I got some comments talking about how having a T crosshair helps you with horizontal line movement. And I thought that was interesting because that's not something I had even thought about when it came to picking a crosshair. Being able to draw a straight line essentially between opponents. So like if I'm trying to shoot from this opponent to this opponent, I want this sort of imaginary line I'm drawing between the two to be as straight as possible. I don't want it to be like, ooh, you know, I don't want it to be me not being able to, if I'm moving fast, it being like all wobbly or whatever. I want it to be a straight line because that's the fastest way to get there, right? And I think I think what a couple of people were saying is that the T crosshair helps you with drawing that line a lot straighter, not just in a horizontal plane but also in a vertical plane. But I think again, I think it all comes down to preference. I decided to switch my crosshair to like fool around with it a little bit. I wanted to see if like if I had noticed any changes or anything like that, because it had been a while since I had used any other crosshair besides the dot crosshair. So I'm not going too big, but I am just using just a little bit of a crosshair. But when it comes to actually drawing a straight line, I think there's a better kind of practice regimen you can do. You can either do it on the 5e aim hub, which I do a lot of my training on, or you can do it on this one, which I think is a lot more straightforward. And I think it's kind of better, called aimbots. The reason why I think this one is good, you got like bots all around, so you want to close these areas off so that there's walls around you and then you can just focus on this. But the reason why I think it's good is because you can close off these walls and like the bots are closer together. Meanwhile on the 5e aim hub, it's like they're kind of like really spread far out, and I'd rather keep it closer to when I do this test. But essentially all this test is you go from one head to the next. It's called the KPM test. So you go from one head to the next, and you want to start off by doing it just at a normal pace. You don't want to rush or anything like that, because you're trying to get a baseline for like how fast you are. So if you just go there, right, and you do that, I'm not going to do this because you have to do it over 100 times, but if you do it just like that, then it'll give you a base number here. Let me show you the number. Okay, so just in those 3 kills I got 83, which I want to say like 90 is a good thing to shoot for, I would say. But you do that, and let's say like I got a score of like 60 or 70, something like that, right? Well, that means that the line I'm drawing isn't smooth enough, and it also could mean that I'm going from here and I'm like flicking too far or something, right? Or like I'm not on the head, and so that could also maybe help you with thinking about your sensitivity. But essentially doing this test will help you draw that line, and that's the point of like doing this training. So I don't really think you need a T crosshair for that. Again, like I said in my last video, I think that people get too caught up on crosshairs. Maybe if a T crosshair helps you when it comes to drawing that line, maybe if it helps you, I don't know, when it comes to spraying. I think I saw somebody say like a T crosshair helps them visualize spraying better because they kind of get lost in the dot or something like that. Then I think that's good. But if you get a 60 or 70 on the KPM, then go as slow as possible, and then the next test, whatever, doesn't matter what number it is, you go a little bit faster from the next test, and then you keep on going, and then on the last test, what you do is you go as fast as possible. The idea is the same like when you're going to the gym, where you do progressive overload. You want to make sure, okay, I'm on the head, and that was a good straight line, right? And so the more you do that at a slower pace, and then you ramp up to a faster pace, the more it sinks into your brain, to your muscle, and then the faster the higher, I guess, your KPM will be. So 90's a good thing to shoot for. You can obviously go above 90. I don't know how fast you can, or how high this score can go, but maybe I can test it out real quick. What? I didn't kill them. I just wanted to... Wait. Okay, so so it can go as high as it wants to go, I guess. But I don't think you're gonna be able to get that. But yeah, I think it's a good test when it comes to just drawing lines a lot better. Like crosshair really doesn't matter in this situation. And then one last thing that I didn't even know about, that I actually saw in a Nade King video, and I believe somebody also mentioned in the comments, is that there is a bit of a spread when it comes to when it comes to shooting any sort of gun. There's a bit of a spread. I'll go ahead and show the Nade King portion of that right now.
Myth 2, crosshair on enemy's head doesn't always equal a headshot. With the command the weapon debug spread show, you can see the potential spread of the bullet. Plus, if there's enough distance in between you and the target, even if your crosshair is on the head, bullets can still miss. So that's true. It does happen more often with SMGs, but even with AKs, and obviously...
And so that's not something I had considered when, like, here I am, like, trying to shoot at this T or whatever. I could be right on this T's head, and I hit him in the shoulder, and I missed apparently completely, and then that time I hit him. So it just depends. Yeah, that's all I really wanted to go over was the peak training, and go over a little bit of the things I'd missed with the crosshair training, and talk about like how I like to do things, and talk about Rankasy and how I thought that was interesting. Let me know if you guys want any kind of like specific video or something. I won't mind making, but it's just one of those things I just kind of had on my mind, so I just kind of wanted to talk about it. That's about it. Thanks for watching.